There's a place in the woods of Olalla that has a ghastly and ghostly history. Shane Jones grew up there and has moved back into a bungalow with kind of a brutal past. It's a place where strange things happen. Many believe it's haunted by victims of a malicious, greedy doctor who once operated an isolated clinic where as many as 40 patients may have been murdered for their money. So we sent a team of ghost hunters from the Washington State Paranormal Investigations and Research, or WHISPER, to check out the infamous Starvation Heights. Darren Thompson's here to show eerie evidence of what they collected, evidence which includes this ghostly recording. We'll hear and see more evidence collected by these ghost hunters, but first, I kind of want to get an idea of what has been going on in your home, Shane. Just give us some of the highlights, things that have happened.
Well, my mom bought the house over 20 years ago, and as children living out there and growing up, we'd hear footsteps, like work boots, going up and down the stairs, and so that's when we first got an inkling that there may be something going on out there. And then as I got older and we heard more and more stories about the history of the house and what was going on, it kind of came to understand that, oh, there may be something happening in this house.
I heard there were some light bulbs doing things, or lights going on for what?
Yeah, my mother-in-law was over one night, and she was talking with my wife, and she saw a light bulb actually get unscrewed. You know, nobody there doing it, and it just came unscrewed.
By itself?
All by itself, yep. And then another time, my wife was talking with our son, and she was just sitting there talking with him, and she saw his hair move, like somebody had run their fingers through his hair. And he was freaking out trying to swat the bug off, and he's like, what is it? Get it off, get it off. And she's like, no, there's no bugs or anything.
Well, hold on, Laura, you're here. I mean, you actually did the hair like somebody's fingers were in it? Is that it?
It looked like it started here and just went back. His hair just moved.
And there wasn't any wind or anything going on,
no,
right?
No, it was inside the house.
This is very weird. And you've had some ghostly encounters with your son as well?
Yes, my middle son, who seems to be much more open to this than most of us, he actually saw a child in the house. And what had happened was he wasn't feeling well, so he was sitting on the couch, and we set him up with a movie, and we went next door to my grandmother's for dinner. And so when we came back, he had the movie turned off, and the lights were down, and he had a blanket over his head, and he's huddled on the couch there. And we asked him, you know, got him settled down and said, what's wrong? What's wrong? And he said, the kid behind the couch won't talk to me. He's just sitting there behind the couch, and he won't say anything. And it was just, you know.
Now, kids all the time make up friends, but this was more real to him?
This was the real thing, absolutely.
Ever come back?
Well, we've had my youngest son has been in the bedroom playing, and he's come out and been upset because the kid in the bedroom with him doesn't want to do anything except play blocks. Just wants to play blocks, won't play anything else.
The other
my
ghost
youngest
kid.
son, yeah, wants the other ghost wants to play blocks with him.
All right, Darren, you sent in, you've worked with us before, a team of psychics, a technician, and observers. They got in there. Did the psychics ever detect any children?
Yes, they did.
And they didn't know. They didn't know these stories before.
What we did was we had actually blindfolded our psychics. We all met at a location in Federal Way and then drove into Olalla with them blindfolded. And we didn't tell anyone where we were going except for the drivers of the vehicles. So when we arrived, no one had any idea where we were.
And yet the psychic was able to detect the little boy, which is exactly what you say your son saw.
Yes.
Your wife apparently, did you go through a cloud or something? I heard some story like that. Is that what you did, Lori?
In the living room. I was walking through, and there was just a cloud in the living room, and I just kept going right through it.
Like a real cloud?
Like a cloud in the living room.
Did it feel like anything when you went through it?
Nope.
Does it seem a little weird that I'm talking to you about this? I mean, this is kind of odd, or I guess it happens to you a lot. So
it has, yeah. Living there, it's been.
Do your neighbors think you're nuts, or I mean?
Well, they think we're nuts for living there. They say we gotta get the heck out of there.
Now, I want to go to you, Darren, because you got in there and you captured an orb. You got a picture of this, and what's the significance of getting an orb?
The significance in the paranormal field is that an orb is actually a life entity or energy. It's not seen by the human eye, but it's seen on night shot cameras or infrared.
All right, so we're going to look at some infrared camera. We're looking for it passing. Now, where are you looking? You're looking for it at the right here, passing?
It's right by the piano keyboard. You see one, there's the second one.
Okay.
First one by the
Slow it down a little bit. We're going to do it really slow here.
There.
There's one.
And then one coming there.
By the piano. Yeah. One more time, really slow.
By the piano, and then right there. And they're not.
Can you catch it on that one? Looks like a little amoeba or something going through.
Exactly. And it's not a bug, nor is it dust, because it's going faster than the air movement in the house. And a bug would be erratic, and you'd see the wings and you don't see that. It's perfectly cylindrical.
And that's the kind of thing you'd see like in other houses where you've done this. You'd see a similar looking kind of thing.
Where paranormal activity is found, orbs are also found.
Okay, you recorded EVPs. I think a lot of people may have seen the movie White Noise. Is that what we're talking about here?
Correct. Although white noise pertains to video,
right.
EVP pertains to audio, where a tape recording device is used to pick up sound. The sound that's heard in the room, of course, is picked up and recorded on the recorder, but on playback you hear additional voices that were not there in the room.
Okay, so let's take a listen to a little bit of this EVP recording. First one. Listen carefully. All right, hold on a second. You sure you weren't in the background just going, "You're talking about me now"? I mean, that's...
Absolutely positive. We have controls that make sure that everyone knows what they're saying, and they listen to their own tapes to hear, so they know their own voice. You would recognize your own voice on tape.
Sure. Did you hear voices in the house at all? Sure.
I haven't, no.
Lori, you hear anything in the house? Okay, let's listen again. You caught something else when you were there on tape.
Correct.
Take a listen to this. Got it here.
It was a bit loud.
Now, saying dig us up, obviously. What do you think from this? I mean, what do you think when you hear this, Shane? This is your house.
I have never heard that before. That's interesting. I mean, that's all the stuff that's been going on in the house. That blows me away.
All right, you're all looking at me. Hold on a second. Are you buying any of this? What are you thinking about this? You've got your mouth wide open. What do you think?
I got goosebumps.
Really?
It's creepy. Yeah, I saw the movie White Noise too, and that's creepy.
If you had that in your house, would you be still living in that house?
No. No.
Anybody else just think this is no way this can be happening, or this is odd? You're all open to this. Okay, Barb's on the line from Limerick. Go ahead, Barb.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Lori. This is Barb. We know each other down there, but we did a logging job right after you guys got the property.
Yeah.
And when we would leave our logging equipment behind, it would stretch out over the pasture towards your grandma's house. And we'd have to go get it every day we worked. It was getting really old.
So, were you afraid to go to work, or was it just weird?
No, I'm used to it. I just moved up here in Linwood, and we found out that a lot of the properties around our house were built on top of a cemetery.
Okay, well, keep that in mind, because in your house, we're going to bring someone up who's going to explain who was in your house, because up to 40 people may have died at the hands of the doctor we were talking about at your very place. Yes. And how she got away with it. Coming up next.